And for some analysis on Holden's exit, I spoke to Professor Greg Bamber from the Faculty of Business and Management at Monash University. I asked him if Holden's decision was symptomatic of the global car industry.
Well, the global car industry has overcapacity, and it has been moving some production from countries where it says labour costs and production costs more generally are high to countries where it says that production costs are lower, in particular in the Asian region. So it's not only Holden that's pulling out of Australia currently, Ford is in the process of doing so, and in the last decade or two we saw that Mitsubishi pulled out and Nissan before that pulled out in the 1990s.
So Professor Bamber, you were talking about labour and production costs being lower in certain Asian countries. Does this essentially create opportunities for countries such as Thailand, India, China?
Yes, it does. And Thailand has been expanding its car manufacturing, as has India and China. So one possibility, a hope which I think some people at Holden are clinging to, is the thought that a Chinese or an Indian company might wish to buy the capacity from Holden that it is giving up in Melbourne and in Adelaide, but I wouldn't hold your breath on waiting for that to happen.
So the fact that labour and production costs are higher here in Australia, how likely is it now that Japanese car maker Toyota could pull out as well?
I hope that Toyota does not pull out. It's important for Australia that it retains some capacity to build motor vehicles, because the car industry is an essential industry for a modern country to have, and also the supply chain into the car industry is huge. It's not only the few thousand jobs that would be associated directly with Toyota pulling out and with Holden and Ford also pulling out, but in the supply chain there are probably 50,000 jobs. Manufacturers of components like the seats, the windscreens, the upholstery and the other components. And that industry is a cradle for innovation. Around the world we see innovation springing out of the car manufacturing industry. It would be a very, very sad day to see Australia having no car industry.
Quickly, Professor Bamber, what does Australia need to do to revive the car industry here?
It needs to focus on developing niche products which are particularly suited and appropriate for the Australian context, but it also needs to export cars, because Australia is a relatively small market. There are only 23 million people in Australia, and it needs to do more of what Toyota has been doing, and that is exporting cars from this base in Australia.